Shalom and good morning. So we are out here in front of a school waiting for the Azure standard truck to make its delivery. Kind of curious about what they do when school is in session. Right now, it's the middle of summer break and the parking lot's empty. I'm kind of curious about what they do when school is actually in session, so I'll have to find that out. But yeah, we ordered some grains and a few other things, some lids and gamma lids, and yeah, so we're just sitting here waiting. You're supposed to arrive 15 minutes early, but I got here half an hour early, a little over half an hour early, just because I'm not familiar with the area. I've never been back here. I didn't grow up in Roanoke. So I'm not familiar with the schools and what's where. Todd grew up here, so he told me about where it was. Close to one of the superstore Walmarts, but it's off on a back road, and so yeah, I had to use Google Maps to find it. But I got here and I'm waiting, and no one else has showed up yet. So fun. Tempted to take Kels over there to that playground right there and let her play while we're waiting, but I don't know, it kind of feels like trespassing. So it is 7:30 in the morning. So we left the house at like 7 o'clock. It doesn't really take that long to get here, but I drove slow because and then there was also a little bit of morning traffic. Not bad. I was expecting more. That's why I left so early. I was expecting it to be pretty bad or pretty heavy traffic, and it wasn't really bad. So I will let you know how it goes, but this is our first time, and interesting. So we got back probably about half an hour ago. It is now, actually it's been about an hour. We got back about 8:30 and had some stuff to do with Kelsey and my mother-in-law. So I got everything unloaded from the car, brought in and unpacked. And so let's see what we got. Next time I will try to do an unboxing and possibly get some footage of the drop itself. Sans getting people in it. So the total weight of my order was 121.8 pounds. How much was shipping for that? $28.07. So if you order this stuff from other places, they may have treated the grains and stuff to keep it from developing bugs, but shipping is outrageous. I ordered some stuff from Bread Beckers, and it's not their fault. Shipping is just outrageous for heavy items. I ordered some stuff from Bread Beckers, and it arrived. It was 4 of these pails, and a couple of the smaller ones, and yeah, it was just the shipping alone was a couple $100. So it was quite expensive for shipping. So, and I got actually about the same weight here with Azure, and shipping was $28. So if there's an Azure standard shipping place near you, go for it. It is you'll save a lot of money on shipping if you're buying bulk. Also, if there's not one, you can create one yourself, but you're responsible for it. So that's the thing. You're responsible for being there every time, making sure that stuff gets picked up, whatnot, all that. So let's see what we got. Okay, so all of this right here was in these 2 boxes right here. So I technically had a 6, what do they call it? A 6-box order. And so these are 25-pound bags of grains, and this is einkorn, y'all. This is expensive. So the total of my order was $358. So this was like 70 bucks, I think. This is the cheapest place that you can get the Gamma Seals. The Gamma Seal lid, as you can see right here. This is a 3-pack, $14.72. So this is the least expensive place that you can get the Gamma Seals, price comparison wise. So yeah, the einkorn was $72.39. So I got a 25-pound bag of einkorn and a 25-pound bag of soft white wheat. And so these are my Gamma Seal lids that I got. And this is for the 2-gallon. This is for the 5, 6, and 7-gallon bucket. They all fit the same lid. And these were each counted as a box. So it has, this is how it's labeled. It comes with your name, where it's located at, and the box number. So it's easy to recognize right there. And so yeah, I also got some catalogs so I can just like look through it while I'm, instead of being on the phone, I can look through it. You can order this online, which I did, but I can look through it while I'm watching TV or whatever. So I got some oat groats. I got 4 bags of these because you can crush them yourself, especially if you have a mill, but you can also do it with a regular blender or food processor. So I got 4 of those. I got some wild rice and baking powder, some active dry yeast. That's a wild rice. And this is northern beans. I got the stuff to make some Ezekiel bread. Kidney beans, green lentils, pinto beans. And those are oats also. And then let's see, I got some almond pate. I wanted to give that a try. And some marshmallow cream, organic marshmallow cream. It's rare to find that does not have bad ingredients in it. Some and everything is organic that I got. Organic vanilla extract. Not as good as homemade, but not bad. And I also got some ginger syrup that I wanted to give a try, and that's actually pretty good. So now I've got to get all this stuff into containers, and just to give you a heads up, if the grains have not been treated, so to prevent the eggs from hatching and whatnot, so you'll want to either freeze it for a couple of days up to a week to kill anything in it, or do what I do. Diatomaceous earth is super cheap. You know, $5 to $7 at your local hardware store. You can get it. You can get it at Lowe's. You can make sure it's food grade. But yeah, you can buy it in bulk on Walmart.com, eBay, Amazon. It's not expensive. And just douse like a quarter cup per 5 gallons. Stir it up in there really good. So if anything hatches out, it's going to die and not ruin your grains. I wasn't aware that rice was one of the items. I knew grains. I knew flour was one of the things that bugs would hatch out in. Was not aware that rice was one of those. So I got schooled by the bugs. Yeah, I got schooled by the bugs. So that was very unpleasant and kind of creepy crawly, literally and figuratively. So I need to get these in their buckets and treated. When you get these lids, just pull this off. You have to watch this seal right here will sometimes pop loose, so make sure it's in there and in the right position. And this just unscrews. And that is how you access your food. Hang on, let me get it. Okay. There is another seal that goes in here that also sometimes wants to come out. You have to make sure it is also in the right place. And this is also with the large gamma seals as well, large gamma seal lids as well, which is not a big deal. Just use care, make sure it gets in the right spot, and yeah. So you'll trace it around here and make sure. If these seals are not in place, your food can get infested with bugs. So that's the right place. And then you'll just cinch it right back down. But you'll need to take this off to pound it into place. You'll need to take this off. Not like that. Okay, you will need a hammer of some sort. I use my mallet, handy dandy mallet. Now, you can wash these buckets out with soap and water. You can wash them out with soap and water. But if you do, you need to make sure they are thoroughly dry before you put your grains in there, because if they're not thoroughly dry, then the water, the moisture in there can ruin your grains. So what I do is rub in alcohol. It disinfects, it cleans, it disinfects, it kills germs, yeah, it will clean them out really good. I've already done the buckets. And next I need to hit the lids. So I'm going to do that really quick and I'll be right back. So the larger gamma seal buckets that the large gamma seal bucket lids that fit these buckets are the exact same way as the others. As the white ones I just showed you. These are the red lids. I already peeled the bottom off of this one. Sometimes they come off easy, sometimes they stick. Okay, see there. So you'll just have to peel that off. There's always one in every bunch. In this case, there were two. The first one did that also. That's all right. I'll get that off with alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol, y'all. Easy way to clean. So just to let you know, the cheapest place I found these buckets is at Lowe's. They're like $4 a piece, something like that. They are food grade, BPA free, both sizes, and these are like $2 or $3. I can't remember which. Yeah, so those you can get at Lowe's, and that is the cheapest place I found them. The cheapest place I found these lids is at Azure Standard. I have purchased them other places, over $8 at Brad Becker's. Okay, so I have the camera set up on a completely separate counter, so hopefully the vibrations won't be that bad. So what I'm going to do is put the lids on the gamma seal lids on the pails. You do have to hit this pretty hard, and it's loud. Okay, so we're going to attach this lid to So I just looked around the side to make sure it was seated good. And the only other thing is to make sure the seal is in there. Spun it closed. So easy to operate. The lids, however, not so much. And putting them on, you do need a mallet. Some people might be able to squeeze that down on there, but I sure can't. So. Don't hit your hand, it will hurt. Alright, there's number 2. So that's kind of happens sometimes. Don't buy the 2-gallon buckets from Lowe's and think these small gamma lids are going to fit, because it won't. I just trial and errored for you. But they don't cost very much, so it's not that big of a deal. Maybe I can find some buckets that these will fit on. I will definitely try, but they will not go on these buckets for sure. But that's not a total loss, because these are safe for food. So you can use them to grow in, or go back and buy the lids that you'd pry off. I don't particularly care for those because they don't have a seal. They just pry them off, and it's not real easy to get them to pry off. I cannot tell the difference between these lids and the ones I purchased from Bread Bakers. So quality wise, they're the same. Oh, last one of the large ones. Probably gonna have to get some more large ones since the small ones won't work. It is what it is. And I will tell you, you do have better leverage pounding these in if you pound them in on the floor. And it is as easy as that for food storage. Okay, so this is my diatomaceous earth that I get from, I think I got this from Walmart or Amazon. I'm not really sure. I can't remember which. But make sure it is food grade, because diatomaceous earth is also used, I believe, in pools. But make sure it's food grade. You can also use this on your plants, but be careful, because it will kill some beneficial bugs as well. So I haven't used it in the garden. I do use it in the kitchen. So we are going to do the I'm cord in here. Also, when you put these lids on, there's a gasket on the inside of this. Make sure it's in there. And there's a gasket right here. Make sure it's in there, because sometimes they will fall out, especially if you drop the lid. Okay, so this is my einkorn. As you can see, $70 worth. You know what? I don't think I want that on this glass stove top. And scissors. Stay. All right. You can. This is just like dog food right here. Not to say it's like dog. It's not dog food. But the tab is, if you can get one, little sewing trick, if you can get one in started, it should peel right off, and apparently that's the wrong end. So we'll go to this end. Okay, yeah. So if you can get one end started, it'll pull right off. Little sewing trick. And what I do, I don't do this all at once. All right, I do it in thirds, and let me grab a cup. Ouch. I won't need a whole cup for this thing. I'll leave this much for a third. Grab a stiff spoon and stir that diatomaceous earth in. So if you have any bugs hatch out in here, they will die very quickly and they will not eat your broom or infest it with more eggs to eat your broom. Okay, that's stirred in. Look, big spoon. Now for another third. And it will not hurt you to consume this, so you don't have to worry about rinsing the grains off or straining them out or anything like that. You can eat this diatomaceous earth, it's not going to hurt you. Just don't breathe in the powders because they will irritate your lungs. And I'm stirring it up just to make sure all the grains are coated with it. So there's none in here, there's no pockets of grains that are not coated. And this is biodegradable. So last one. You can do this with your hands also. I've done it with my hands before, but this spoon does a good job as well. And it doesn't coat my hands because it will coat your hands. And I just make sure there's no more white, yellow kernels in here. So they're all coated with the diatomaceous earth. And the next step is a very important one also. Because moisture will ruin your grains, you want to put a packet or two in there. These are the large ones. I think one will do. I like the color change ones because these are blue when they're good, but when they have absorbed enough water, they'll turn pink. And then all I do is stick them back in my dehydrator, or almost a purplish color. Just stick them back in your dehydrator and dehydrate them until it gets the water out. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, where's my lid? All right, so this one is done, except for one more thing. How do I know what's in it? So what I do, there's one side that has no stickers, okay? I pull the handle over to this side, and these are Avery name badges. And I just printed out my little logo with the bee, and that's not my logo. I just printed out the name Healthy and Heart. and the name of the grain. And having this makes it so easy to read. And I just stick it up towards the top. They are a little repositionable if you don't get it right the first time. Just like that. I stuck the wrong label on. And just like that, they're easy to peel off too. I see that, and then I can't get it peeled off. Read your labels first. That's alright, I'll just peel it right off here. I'll get it eventually. Seriously, I'm a little stressed out because we met at a school and Kelsey is very funny when it comes to schools. I'll just print one out. And I just stick it right over the handle. And you can reposition it if you need to, but just like that, I have my label on here and I know what kind of grain this is, so I can go stack this with the others. I already have some soft white wheat, so it will go right in this bucket that I already have. And make sure when if you're milling your own flour that you look for other seeds or rocks or gravel or anything like that. It can mess up your meal. But this corn that I have, this soft white wheat I got from I can't remember where, but it is saturated with burdock root seeds. So and they will not grind up. I would eat them because the burdock plant is edible, but they won't grind up. So you will have to and that bag filled that up, and I still had room that I could put more in there. So not sure again which side it's going to be on this side. Trick, usually whatever side this little strip is sewed on, go on the right side and clip that in, and that's the end you'll peel from. Oh my. These are beautiful and clean grains now. There is no burdock root in here. Not that I can see, at least from this angle. Oh, yes there is. But it's not as bad as the other. Well, actually that's not burdock root. This is just a stem. Wow, that is really clean. Okay, so these are gonna have to be cleaned also because they have some chaff in there. And chaff is just the portion of the stem that will usually blow away if you're willowing it by hand. It's the debris, the unwanted matter. Oh, these are really nice. They're still really much more cleaner than the other ones. And I'm being paged. Hold just a second, please. I'm back. So I know that was only a couple seconds for y'all. So I'm doing the same thing with these, and like I said, these are very clean grains. There's like very little debris in here compared to our non-grain material in here compared to the other one I had. Oh, they're just so cold too, actually. And the reason you want, because if you get an infestation of bugs, it can affect everything, especially if, at least if they're sealed, which if you use the diatomaceous earth, it's not going to infect even the bucket they're in, because it's going to kill, the diatomaceous earth will kill anything that hatches out. But if you get an infestation in one bag of rice, it can affect your whole pantry, or one bag of flour. I was talking to the lady who runs the Azure drop site, and she didn't realize that the rice can be infected with bugs. I'm like, no, I didn't realize it either until it happened. So I'm very lucky that they didn't find their way out, because if they did, my whole food that I had stored, like the beans and the rice, I did not have these at the time, the wheat berries. But if I had not had them, then it would have, the bugs would have infested everything. And I'm really surprised, because the lids just sat on there. There was no seal or anything, and they were actually pretty loose. They did not get out of there, and I am really surprised that they didn't, because the lids were not on there very well at all. Bag is empty. Oh, these grains look so beautiful. Oh, there's some more. That's really not much, but you do want to make sure. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? They just went everywhere. You do want to make sure that, I forgot what I was going to say. So you do want to make sure that you put some diatomaceous earth in with your grains, so that, I mean, if this got infested, that's $70 that's down the drain that we've lost, because that's $70 that we're not going to get back. So you really do want to protect your investment. You're investing in food for your family, because these days are getting more and more uncertain. And we're seeing some of the Bible being fulfilled. Some of the Bible prophecy being fulfilled right in front of our eyes. And the investment that you make in your family's health and safety, you want to make sure that you protect it. And one of the best ways to do it is to buy the buckets with the gamma seals, and use the diatomaceous earth. The funny thing is, the rice that got infested, all right, I still had some in here, and then I put that whole bucket in there, and it's still about to right here, so I could even put some more in here. And eventually I'll get the lid back on. But as you can see, this is a gamma sealed lid that I got from the Bread Bakers, and it is just the same as the others, the red ones that I got today from Azure Standard. So There's no difference in quality, but there's a difference in price. One of the other things that we use a lot are oat groats, and they will cook up just like oatmeal. You can use them in any recipe. You can substitute it for rice. I actually did a rice mini, one of Mary's minis with not rice, with the oat groats, and they're really good. And you can also cook them up like you would anything that you would make oatmeal with. You could do like hot grains in the morning, something like that. But what I was really surprised in is that they can be substituted with they can substitute rice. Anything you cook rice with, you can use oat groats. Okay, now I already had some oat groats here. I'm gonna see if I can save this label. I don't think I have another one made. Yay! Praise Yah. Okay, we got the label saved. It's really not that difficult to get food out of these buckets, especially with the gamma seal. The biggest thing is lifting the bucket, transferring the buckets when you want something. Moving the other buckets off of it because I have them stacked to save room, because our house is kind of tiny and we have 4 people in here. I mean, which is rated for 4 people. It's fine, but for septic goes, but room wise, you don't have any storage, which I'm thinking we're gonna fix a storage issue in the kitchen eventually, but not right now. It is what it is. But I have like a couple little things that I have, a couple shelving units that I have in here for storage, and then I also have I'll show you. So excuse my mess. So I have this unit right here for storage of, believe it or not, that's not food. There are spices, and the rest of it is bowls. Right there is my dehydrator. I love that thing. And the toaster oven. So right here is where I keep my teas. I love teas, herbal teas, green teas, whatnot. And then his mom has one shelf right there that she keeps stuff in here. And we split the refrigerator in thirds and the freezer. So these are my buckets, and I have some, in this bowl is some flour that's soaking in an apple cider vinegar medium. It's called soaked flour. So here are my buckets, and I can tell what it is because typically I've been in here messing with it today, but typically I have them where I can see the labels really easy. And then I have some back here, and this shelf right here. And that's where I pulled the oat groats from. Okay, now oat groats and rice and wheat will store indefinitely. Things like steel cut oats, old-fashioned oats, let's see, I think any grain that's already been cracked. I think I saw one here. No, I didn't. Okay. Any grain that has been cracked, that has had the shell cracked on it, barley is a really big one that they will crack the grain on. So you got to be careful when you buy that. Make sure it's not pre-cracked. I think bulgur also was cracked. I got it. So if it's cracked, it will not store as long. But anything that has is a whole grain. Sorry about the shakiness. Anything that's a whole grain, it will store for years, decades even. All right, this one doesn't have the telltale cover, so you would think, being a seamstress, I would know. Just by looking at it, but yeah, it doesn't quite work that way. All right, let's try from this side. Yeah, I think it's this side. There we go. And so these are the whole oat groats, which let me grab a saucer. So I don't want to dump them in the floor like I did with the, or drop them in the floor like I did with the wheat. So this is what oat groats look like if you've never seen them. They look exactly like wheat berries and like rice grains, that kind of thing. Puffed oats, I know you've seen that cereal. Yeah, those or puffed wheat. They look the same. It's just the seed of the oat plant. So this is a 5-pound bag, and oops, I don't want the string in there. Like this container, the lid fits on there and it fits really snugly, but it's still, because the lid right here is not snug. It could still get infested with bugs. Thankfully it was not. But you do want to protect your investments. And this is going to end up being a really long video, and I am very sorry for the length. But I do appreciate you spending your time with me. So that was a little over 5 pounds. That was about 8 pounds-ish. Okay, we're going to go from the right-hand side. Yeah, there you go. All right, open it up from the right-hand side. With the front facing you. Oh, this one is actually going to fill up pretty fast. And so we eat a lot of oatmeal, a lot of rice, a lot of bread. This week we're doing it's pizza week, so pizza dough, very interesting. A lot of people don't know this, but pizza dough actually is better if you let it sit in the refrigerator for a couple of days and let it just kind of ferment slowly in the refrigerator. It does something to the texture. I don't know, but it changes the texture and it makes it so much better. I'm sure people who cook artisan bread would like freak out at some of my cooking recipes, but you know what? If it works for you and your family and it gets eaten and it's loved, I don't care what the experts say, right? I am a little bit of a rebel anyway, so I like to do things my way. And if they don't work, like with the buckets and the lids, yeah, you've learned a lesson. So I now know that these lids will not fit on these buckets. So I will find some solution to that. I'm just not sure what yet. So if you saw my bug, I'm getting ready to make a bug video about the bugs that infested my flour, my rice. And so if you've seen that, or you see the clip that I inserted earlier in the video, you'll understand how important it is to protect your investment, because this is an investment, because they will last for literally decades. As long as they're temperature controlled, moisture controlled, kept in a dry, cool place, they'll last indefinitely. They have actually found some grains, I believe both corn and wheat grains, in the tombs in Egypt, the pyramids, and they grew. They've also, sorry, I got some dust in my lungs. They've also found date seeds in Israel, and they have grown. So I think it would be interesting to know what the grains looked like back then, and to see how much they've changed over the years, because humankind has definitely degraded, so you know the grains have as well. Now I do have all of these grains, and because I just started learning to meal my own flour, and I'm experimenting with it. So I don't see which ones we like the best. And it's also good to have a mixture, a variety of grains and vegetables and stuff in your diet, because a lot of your health is in your gut, and that's your gut bacteria. And so feeding them different grains and different substances will actually improve your health. There's the oat grits. By the way, if you have problems with fleas, bed bugs, just be careful and don't inhale it. Diatomaceous earth works really well for that. Alright, so next up is the wild rice. Question, do you know what I forgot in the last two containers that I filled? I forgot these. So I'm going to go do that real quick before I forget again. And these right here I purchased on eBay for like 20 bucks for a couple packets. So the last bucket is the wild rice. A really cool thing about wild rice is, unlike other, it's not really a rice, it's a grain. It's a grass. But unlike other rices, you can actually eat this raw. what you want to do is put it in some water and let it sit in a dehydrator or in a warm place overnight, and they will bloom. It's called blooming the rice. They'll just split open, and it's has a rice texture, a little chewy, but it's really good and a very good way to eat rice. And as you can see, wild rice is about as expensive as the einkorn, possibly even more so. Oh, let's look. See, I got a 5-pound bag. Where'd my papers go? Oh yeah, so it is way more expensive than the einkorn. For 2 5-pound bags, 10 pounds, is $28.27. So multiply that by 2, you're looking at $66 for 4 bags, a little over $66 for 4 bags. So yeah, it's right up there with einkorn in expense, cost wise. So, but it's so good. If I had to choose a rice, I would probably choose wild rice. And yes, it gets the diatomaceous earth also, and it will change the color, but that's okay. But as you can see, I had more than 1 container of that. Oh, wow, that one is sealed. Just checking. So I really like these buckets because one thing I can do is it opens up my larger containers for like my jars for ferments. I have really been missing doing my ferments because I haven't had any of the large jars because everybody's freaked out and bought everything in the store, or people were too afraid to work with the coronavirus. So, whatever the reason, it made for a very shortage of canning jars and canning supplies and all that. So these bags will get tore up and put in the compost. Yes, they will. I was really quite impressed with how organized the Azure standard is in ordering from them. The pickup was very organized. The location was a good location. There was a place to, a covered place to put the stuff if it were raining, which it was raining, she said, last month. So that was really nice. Although the school is closed now, it's not an active school site. You never know what the county is going to do with it. So who knows if it will be there forever, but as for right now, it's a really good location. hoping to use these smaller buckets for the beans and stuff, because we don't eat all those beans by themselves. Some of them we do, but most of them we don't. So I was really hoping to use some of these smaller containers for the to make the Ezekiel bread for the beans, but that's not going to work. And the wild rice is now done. Oh, I almost forgot again. Gotta keep the moisture out. Now this is filled up to here. Of course, that was 2 bags of wild rice, and I had about the equivalent here already. So it could still fit probably 2 more bags in here. 2 more 5-pound bags. Which I'm trying to get next. So now the beans, I have no idea what I'm going to do with those. I don't know. I'll figure something out. I do have these 2 containers that I just emptied. Once again, I do not want to breathe that. I can feel it in the back of my throat where I haven't breathed some in just doing this. I had another. Oh well. Yeah, I get these little clips right here because they're really good for flicking yourself. They're really good for closing the bags that the Ziploc doesn't work on, which is this one and pretty much every other one. So they're really good for that, keeping it closed and sealed. And yeah. So I did find buckets that will fit these lids at Pleasant Hill Grain, and they were like $6 a bucket. So I won't buy the smaller ones because I can get the larger ones for less money, but I do need a few of the smaller ones, so I won't do that again. But if you do get these are the 9 3/8 lids, gamma lids at Azure standards. They will not fit the 2-gallon buckets at Lowe's. They will not fit. The lid is just a smidgen too large, like 1/8 of an inch too large. But you can get the buckets at Pleasant Hill Grain, which I just ordered for this one. So yeah, and I realized that these buckets are a little hard to get in and out of my storage area. So what I'm going to do is get some 5-gallon Pell dollies and stick under them, so I can just like roll them out of the way and pull them out when I need them without having to move each individual bucket one at a time. So that'll be a little easier. We have limited space here, so sometimes you have to make concessions and make things work one way or another and be creative. So that's my creative solution. So I don't have those yet. They will be here. Not sure when, but they will be here eventually. Okay, let me start this again. I want to show you what the bugs did to the container I had the rice in. Right now I have pasta in the containers, but if you look, okay, right here is what the bucket is supposed to look like. Right here is what the bucket looks like after the bugs, and these are pits on the inside that you can feel. They're that deep that the bugs were trying to chew out of the container. And I can feel that. They're pitted. And they were trying to chew their way out of the container. Now, I am honestly surprised that they did not get out of this bucket, because the lid just sits on there. It does not fasten or latch down in any way. So it's really loose. So I'm really surprised. Possibly because there was another bucket sitting on top of it is the reason they did not get out. That was keeping it weighed down. But yeah. So right now that holds my pasta, which bugs could get in to eat, but that's my only resolution at the moment. I have a mess here to clean up, and I gotta figure out something to do with those beans. So I really appreciate you coming along and spending your time with me as I figure out this whole Azure standard drop thing. It was quite interesting, and I will do it again next month. So check into it if you're check into it in your areas and see if there's any available. They do have a search function on their website that you can search for. But it really is a very cost-effective way of buying in bulk and saving money. But everything isn't always in bulk. They do have the smaller things. They have cans and things like that, canned food that you can save a lot of money on. Yeah, we're trying to get away from the canned food just because you don't know when if they're BPA-free cans and all that. I really like canning glass because at least glass, you know, is safe. But yeah, I am really pleased with the purchase that I made today, and I'm really pleased with getting it stored. Not pleased with this mistake, but that is my fault, not Azure Standard's fault. Yeah, like this bucket's breaking. Nice. So we'll figure something else out for the beans. I might just go ahead and get a bucket like this and just go ahead and fill it up, and then we have years of storage, right? I'm going to end the video now. Thank you for spending your time with me and listening to me talk and watching me do my work. So Yahuah bless you and keep you and give you shalom. Until next time, God bless.